The oceans are full of water, so why don't we just clean seawater and solve the water crisis?
We can clean it. The process is called desalination. The hard part is not removing salt, it is doing it cheaply and at massive scale.
How does it work?
One common method is seawater reverse osmosis. It pushes seawater through very fine membranes using high pressure. Salt stays behind and fresh water passes through.
That sounds simple, so why not use it everywhere?
Because it takes a lot of energy. Producing just 1 cubic meter of fresh water usually needs about 2.5 to 4 kilowatt hours of electricity.
How much water is 1 cubic meter?
About 1,000 liters.
And how expensive is that?
At average US electricity prices, that is roughly 36 to 57 cents per cubic meter, just for electricity.
That still sounds manageable.
For 1 cubic meter, yes. But a city-scale plant producing 100,000 cubic meters per day could spend about $36,000 to $57,000 every day on electricity alone.
And that does not include the rest of the costs?
Exactly. It does not include building the plant, maintenance, replacing membranes, labor, or distributing the water.
Okay, so cost and energy are major issues. What else?
Desalination also creates concentrated salty waste called brine.
So when we make fresh water, we are left with extra salty water?
Exactly. And if that brine is discharged back into the ocean without proper management, it can harm marine ecosystems.
How much brine are we talking about globally?
Desalination plants produce about 95 million cubic meters of fresh water per day, but around 142 million cubic meters of brine.
So desalination creates more brine than fresh water?
Yes, that is why the challenge is not only making clean water, but also managing the waste.
Still, it can help with water shortages, right?
Definitely. It is very useful for coastal cities and dry regions with limited freshwater sources.
But it cannot solve the whole water crisis by itself.
No. Around 70% of global freshwater withdrawals go to agriculture.
So the biggest water problem is not just drinking water at home, it's also farming.
Correct. That means we need desalination, but also better irrigation, less water loss, water recycling, and smarter agriculture.
So the real answer is we can clean ocean water, but doing it cheaply, cleanly, and at huge scale is difficult.
Exactly. Desalination is part of the solution, but it is not the whole solution.